Most dealership leaders are not losing the execution war because they don't know how to execute. They're losing because they're letting execution killers run through their store completely unchecked. It's like trying to win a war while letting the enemy into your camp to sneak through every night. They're cutting your communication lines, draining your ammo, and you're wondering why you can't win. If you don't hunt these killers down, you're not just losing speed and velocity, you're bleeding out results. I'm Chris Hunsicker, and this is the Dealership War Room Leadership Fire. 7 minutes, built daily, fueled intentionally, and delivered relentlessly. And today, we're going hunting. Last month, Sarah's store missed their volume target by 5 units. And when they dug in, it wasn't the market, and it wasn't the advertising. It wasn't even a lack of effort. It was the same 3 execution killers that show up every single week, confirming every single appointment that day, first thing in the morning, making sure that every single deal, there was early manager intervention, that a manager was involved with that customer face-to-face, name-to-name in those first few minutes. And then finally, that nobody left the dealership without a manager goodbye. And not just a last-minute brush off, but an actual real connection with the manager saying goodbye. Now, I don't know what the 3 would be for your store, but I guarantee you right now, going through your head, there are execution killers that you know show up every week in your store. None of these mistakes felt massive in the moment, but stacked up, they bled the mission dry. The lesson here is simple, that execution killers rarely announce themselves. They show up in small gaps, little delays, unspoken assumptions, and left alone, they multiply until they collapse the mission. Now that you understand the silent power of execution killers, I want to share with you a simple but powerful tool that you can use. I call it the execution killer list. Every dealership war room leader should build and update this list every single week. And here's how. So number 1 is identify. I want you to identify one issue that keeps recurring, showing up again and again, that either slows down or stops your execution. Number 2, locate. Get precise, use some precision. Where exactly in the process does it occur? Rarely is an entire process broken, but in almost every process, there is a step that's a bottleneck. There's a step that's broken. There's a point where we get off track and things start to miss. That's what we're gonna do. That's what I want you to identify here. Number 3 is neutralize. Here, all you're looking to do is assign ownership and a timeline to get it fixed. Now that we've located it, right, that part in the process that needs to happen, who's gonna own it? How are they going to fix it? And when is it going to be fixed by? That's the execution killer list. You're just going to continually coming back to each week, building and updating what specifically can you identify, locate, and neutralize. And rinse and repeat. Identify, locate, neutralize. And that's going to start taking these killers of execution and one by one, taking them out of your business. So that not only does your execution increase, but your velocity starts to build on itself. The execution killer list, that framework is so simple, yet when I've implemented this with different individuals and stores and teams, I come across a common set of objections, some pushback that I almost always get, and I call these blind spots. These are where we actually get blind to the execution killers, and we can't figure out why we keep losing. Number 1, the way we've always done it trap. This is where your team gets so used to doing something a certain way, they become blind to it. They don't even see that that's what we've done. And if you've been in a situation with limited accountability or lowered standards, what happens is they become literally blind to the fact that complacency has become camouflage. Number 2, I call the false fix. And this is where your team starts to build workarounds in the process. They don't address the process issue. They don't address the bottleneck. They just kind of create what they think is a workaround. And they don't really solve the problem. They don't really fix it. They just move the pain further down the road. And in the end of the day, what you've got is the false belief I've done something to make things better when you've actually done nothing and what you did do made it worse. Number 3, I call leadership blindness. And this is where you're tolerating a certain execution killer, a certain level of mediocrity, because it's just inconvenient to fix. Or worse yet, if you try and fix it, it might expose a leadership gap in you that you're not willing to address right now. That's why I call it leadership blindness. If you're committed to naming and killing one execution killer in your business, then in the comments, just type in kill so that we know you're going hunting with us. Now, let's turn some insight into action because data has to convert to dollars. Otherwise, it's just more information. Before the day gets away with you, I'm going to invite you to do 3 simple tasks. Number 1, I want you to write down one area in your department that's an execution killer. 2, pinpoint exactly where it's happening in the process. 3, assign someone, preferably yourself, to kill it by the end of the week. No more workarounds, no more that's just how it is. The longer you tolerate it, the more it drains the very life out of your mission. Simply put, you cannot win a war if you let the enemy roam free all through your camp. So find the killer, eliminate it, and then protect the mission. And go out today and create some leadership fire. And I will see you tomorrow in the dealership war room.